Cooper Weidenthaler with Wayne State Athletics, joined by head volleyball coach Tim Koth. Coach, season number 10 for you, right around the corner. Before we get into the fall season, the off season, what's that been like for your program, and kind of what have you and your staff wanted to accomplish?
A lot of preparation work, obviously, in the summertime, getting ready for the start of August preseason. A lot of things happening here in the Math Eye, too, in terms of changes and some things. So we've been doing a lot of monitoring with that. A new locker room for the girls, some new things added here to this facility really soon. So just trying to been working on those types of things. And pretty much 2/3 of the team has been here every day, playing and conditioning. So it's been it's been a busy summer, actually.
So entering this season, quite a bit of new faces, right? So you've got 7 newcomers. We've talked a little bit about that off camera. Your biggest incoming class since 2018. Just tell us a bit about that group and what you were looking for in that recruiting process, finding those 7 ladies.
Yeah, we had to jump forward to what's departing. You know, we graduated a lot of 5th and even 6th year players this past year from the program, from their eligibility. So we needed to kind of step it up a little bit in terms of making sure that in replacing girls who had been here for such a long period of time, that we had the type of athletes that could really come in and impact right away. So spent a lot of time working on this group, and I wanted some balance too between first-year incoming players and a few players who've already played at the collegiate level. So we balanced a couple of transfers along with 5 incoming players. But every single one of them, the thought process was, can this player come in and impact the floor right away?
So 18 total players, 7 newcomers, 5 freshmen, 2 transfers, and then 11 come back from last year's squad. So a bit more inexperienced. How has that kind of altered your plan heading into the fall, heading into match play?
Yeah, it's interesting because we have a handful of players who are starters and significant role contributors that are going to be back. But with the large group that did return, they, the spring was spent on kind of transitioning what their roles had been previously into what their opportunities could be leading into the fall. And the bottom line for the entire group as we get ready to go into August is it's going to be a lot of learning and teaching, maybe a lot more teaching type of environment than we've had in a handful of years, because there's a lot of players who are, this is their first opportunity to play collegiate volleyball, or they're just starting to mesh with our group, or as I said, the returners that are coming back are expecting and working to be in different roles than they've been in the past.
Right, so 10 letter winners come back, the most important of which maybe being Kayla Giroux, was the Midwest Region Freshman of the Year, just a true freshman, still 3 seasons left with the program, was first team All-GLIAC. Among her and the returners, what are you kind of looking for out of that group?
We started in the spring with working with Kayla and that group in terms of how will their roles potentially expand. So we had a very different spring actually with that group in terms of what we demanded out of them and what we were expecting out of them in order to prepare them for now. What I expect is for all of them to elevate their physicality in their game. And I believe across the board, I think they've been doing that. As I mentioned, there's been at least 12 girls here every single day. The returners have been here working really hard. They know there's some exciting young players coming into the program. So they've been challenged, and so they've raised their level. And we had some players who have some pretty elite talent coming back. We're looking forward to what Kayla can do in her year 2. She's definitely expanded her game. She's completely clear of the injury that she had prior to coming to Wayne State. So she's a lot closer to touching, 10-2, 10-3, 10-4, which is what she did when we were recruiting her prior to her injury. So she's more explosive. She's got a lot more understanding of the game at this level and the things that she can do to impact it. Now it's putting that into play for her. She's as dynamic of a player as there's in the GLIAC, and that's saying a lot because there's some amazing players across our conference. But she's every bit as good as any of them, and we expect her to be a big leader for us. Lex Withen is another player who's had two really nice seasons, but they both have had glitches in them. Last year, we got off to a tough start because she was coming off injury. And the year before, she struggled at the end of the year with some health stuff. So we're hoping for one full complete year to really see what she's capable of doing for us from the right side. Big physical player. And some other players who had some roles last year, we're looking for them to step into bigger roles and see what they can do. But learn, absorb information, and get better every day is what we're really going to be preaching as we get into it here in August.
Absolutely. So switching gears a little bit, scheduling wise, 29 regular season matches are on the docket. 27 of those are against teams that are in the region. Obviously, very important to bolster that resume, especially come November when the selection show comes. So just playing schools that are in the region. Tell us about that scheduling process and why that was so important.
Yeah, there's been a shift a handful of years ago in Division II into your regional results, and it'd be great for us to travel and take some of these big trips and play some of the great teams across the country. And those only help 1 out of the 7 criterion. Playing and competing against the best teams in your region that are outside your conference, that really adds some enhancement to a lot of the other criterion for selection. If you don't receive the automatic bid by winning your conference championship. So that's been a focus of mine for scheduling for the last handful of years. And this year we decided to go for it and really put that at the forefront and play the best teams that we could from both of the other conferences and take our shot.
Absolutely. So, Coach, your season begins early September. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned to WSU Athletics for all things Warrior Volleyball.